Welcome to The Nation Wants No More, the podcast that gives hysterical news the send-off it deserves. I'm Anjana Menon. Each week I take the news, real, ridiculous, or just plain noisy, and give it a gentle twist of satire. If you've ever screamed into a cushion after watching the headlines, this one's for you. Quick, sharp, and slightly unhinged, because really, the nation has had enough. You know what really bugs me? Western media and their awful headlines. They are forever trying to dim our moment in the sun. They just called Jeff Bezos' Venice wedding the biggest of the century. Really? Based on what? The number of people who gathered to protest the takeover of Venice? Or the miserly $50 million tab for the world's fourth richest man?
Nope.
Let me tell you, the only thing big about it was the silicon assets of the girlies in attendance. It was a Las Vegas drive-through ceremony compared to the real deal. We know a thing or two about big weddings in India. Even the uncle who stays at DLF Camellias spends more on his daughter's wedding. More than 1.4 billion people know that the biggest wedding of this century, and for many centuries to come, is the 2024 Ambani wedding that blew up social media. Let's do the math, people. Let's crunch the numbers. Let's do a neutral, like-for-like Excel sheet. Our homies had 2 pre-wedding celebrations. They were so grand, I kept getting confused and went around asking my family, wait, why are the same couple getting married twice? It's only then that I realized it was just a lead up to the main bash, sort of like a warm-up act. While Bezos and Sanchez floated into a half-sinking city on a $500 million yacht, India's first family chartered a whole luxury liner for 4 days, which cruised from France to Italy with 800 guests, 4 party themes, and a grueling wardrobe schedule that beat New York Fashion Week. There was a starry night gala, a Roman holiday moment in Rome, imagine, how clever is that? And finally, a La Dolce Vita grand finale in Portofino. At the actual 5-day wedding, guests scrambled for wardrobe updates, working spreadsheets to keep track of the dress code. It left a carbon footprint that will linger for a century and nervous breakdowns we will never see again. Riri sang and jiggled barefoot with Bollywood Nepo kids, and Katy Perry, a guest at the Bezos wedding, was reduced to belting out roaring numbers at our homeland gig. Just when us plebs were detoxing from the wedding overload on social media, old media and fake media, they hit us with a fierce London after-party that made every royal wedding look like a garden party with buntings, scones and jam. The unofficial estimate for the real wedding of the century? A cool $600 million. Our frugal friend Jeff's approach to matrimony is somewhat different. You have to admire a man who can make billions and still find ways to be thrifty. It's a character trait that just shows up in the strangest places. Take, for instance, their wedding invitation. It looked like it was designed on Canva by an Amazon intern during a sneaky lunch break. The brief was to keep it thematic, low cost, and like an Amazon shipping label, which means it is definitely not a keepsake. So we got 2 colorful butterflies, a couple of gondoliers, probably representing Venice's protesters, some seagulls, and a graphic of the Rialto Bridge the couple eventually had to stay away from. Oh, and instead of accepting gifts, the couple said they were donating to UNESCO to fix the exact heritage sites they were accused of trivializing into a grand party venue. The irony was almost too much to handle. And then there was the fashion situation. Some Indian socialite, apparently the only Indian invited to the affair, rolled up thinking it was the Met Gala, rocking a bizarre red dress with what looked like a giant pincushion taped to her chest. Honestly, it was a bit much, trying to distract us from the bride's clearly upgraded assets, which she showed off in not 1 but 20 different outfits. Even the women were floundering more than the boys. I don't know what to make of Sanchez's outfits. One of her corseted dresses was so cinched in that my ribs were hurting just looking at pictures of her in it. Every time she stepped out in another dress and waved to the crowd, they reciprocated wholeheartedly. They welcomed the happy couple with effigies of Bezos in some truly unflattering poses scattered throughout the city. Nothing says welcoming Italian town like mannequins of your groom sitting on the throne, knickers down. Here's the thing. The Western world gets all mad when they see the cash, flash, and over-the-top bash. We Indians don't mind it at all. We make the most of it. Shopkeepers cloned Ambani's wedding bling overnight, hawking grand necklaces on Instagram for just 150 rupees each. I bought a few of them in a game of one-upmanship and was hoping to wear them to the Bezos wedding, but stingy Jeff forgot to send me a ticket. I was even planning to steal the show in Kohlapuri chapels, but Prada nicked that idea and used it on their runway last week. Now you know how the West has operated for centuries. They take our stuff and peddle it as their own. I'm off to look for bubble wrap to put away my bling. See you next week. Hit subscribe, press like, stay original, and sort out your wardrobe for the neighbor's wedding. It's the only one you're ever getting invited to.